Hey guys, so it is currently 8:12 in the morning, but I woke up on my own like this. This was no one else's fault. I don't know why I woke up so early, but it's a good thing because my call time is at 12:30 for this double show day, and that means I have plenty of time to edit this because hopefully it's not going to be crazy. So anyway, today is the best writer I read for the first time this year. And honestly, it could be so many different things. It could be Norah Sakovich. It could be Becky Albertalli. It could be Angelo Sermelius. It could be Shannon McGuire. It could be Claire Kahn. It could be all of the authors in All Out because I've literally read none of their work. It could be Benjamin Alere Science? One of those? It could be Ngozi Ukazu. And finally, it could be C.V. Lee. If I had to pick one of these authors, I don't know which one I would pick. I can narrow it down to 3 for you, though. Maybe 4. So, first, have to go, obviously, with Norah Sakovich, because All for the Game is just near and dear to my heart, and it's just, I love it, and I love her for creating it, and I really hope she writes more, because, even if she doesn't write more in the Foxhole universe, I still want to see, I still enjoyed her writing style, come on, give me some more Norah Sakovich. So that would be one of the ones that I would choose, not necessarily the first, but one of the 4 that I could narrow it down to. The second author in my top 4 would have to be Claire Kahn, because Let's Talk About Love is just amazing. Amazing. What I've been looking for my entire life since I found out I was ace anyway. So just amazing ace representation. But Claire Kahn gave us something that we don't see very often. And that is asexual people having loving and just good romantic relationships. We don't see that often because people don't think about asexuality that way. Everybody assumes that if you're asexual, you're also aromantic. And that's just not the case. Personally, I'm not aromantic. And so it was just so refreshing to see some asexual rep that didn't also just lump together the fact that they were also aromantic, Shout out to Shannon McGuire, also not playing into this trope in Every Hearted Doorway. I really appreciated it then too, but it just wasn't explored as in-depthly as it was in Let's Talk About Love, and I understand that because the book was not about being ace, whereas Let's Talk About Love, the book is about being ace. So, Shannon McGuire, you almost made the list. Don't worry. I love you. The third author on here wrote one of the most beautiful books that I've read this year. Not beautiful in the sense that the prose was lyrical or anything. The prose was fairly straightforward, but the book was just so good. And that would be Benjamin Alere Science? I have no idea how to pronounce his last name. I looked it up. I think it's Signs. Feel free to @ me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But he wrote Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. And that book, I just related to it weirdly enough. And I don't know. It was a really good book, a really good coming of age story. And just, I don't know, I don't know how to explain my love for it, but it was really good, and I need to read more books by him too. And then finally we have the wonderful, wonderful C.B. Lee, whose Sidekick Squad series has honestly made 2018 so much better. Not Your Villain is definitely coming up close to one of the best books that I've read this year, which is the topic for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the best book I read this year, and Not Your Villain is definitely in the top 5 at least. I haven't narrowed it down. I don't know which book I'm going to be talking about. It'll probably be a couple like this one because I am just real bad at narrowing things down and picking one thing. But it was just like Not Your Sidekick was a fantastic introduction to the universe. And the universe itself is interesting. I think it's so cool, and I think it's such a cool take on the superhero genre. Like, it plays with so many tropes, and it, like, flips those tropes, like, on their heads. It's, like, so cool. It's just so cool. And she gave us excellent representation in that book. She gave us excellent representation in the first book. I mean, Jess, the main character, is bisexual and Asian American. And so, like, that's awesome. Her best friends, Jess and Bells, are both also POC. Emma is, I believe, Latina. And Bells is black and also trans. And the second book, Not Your Villain, deals with him as the main character, which was fantastic. And the trans rep there was just everything I could have wanted. And, like, everything I could have wanted inside of a superhero book. Like, it wasn't about him being trans, but it had meant, like, it never forgot that he was trans. It was quality. And so, yeah, I think those 4 authors are the best writers that I've read for the first time this year, and I can't wait to read more by them. Luckily, I've already got the privilege to read 2 C.B. Lee books. Claire Kahn, this was her first book, so she hasn't written anything else, I don't believe, but I look forward to anything else she does write. And Benjamin O'Leary Signs. I keep second guessing myself with pronouncing his name. I don't know. I know he's written other books, so I'm gonna check those out too. And finally, Norah Sakovich hasn't written anything besides All for the Game, but All for the Game is 3 books, so I have read multiple books by her. I just haven't read more than 1 series by her. So if you haven't read any of those authors, I highly suggest you give them a chance. They've written some of my favorite books this year, and they're amazing. So definitely go check them out. And if you want to check out the other authors that I mentioned at the beginning, go check them out too. I highly recommend all of the authors that I mentioned in this video. I only mentioned the authors that I've read for the first time this year and that were good. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.